The story begins with the roar of a sleek sports car screeching to a sudden stop. The tires skid loudly, grabbing everyone's attention as students turn their heads toward the scene. A buzz of murmurs spreads through the crowd, eyes locked on the expensive car. A young man steps out, flashing a confident smile that instantly captivates the onlookers. Someone gasps in shock, whispering, "Wait, isn't that Chen Yuan? The rich second gen who's always driving luxury cars? Looks like he just got another one." The car door slowly opens again. A pair of elegant white high heels steps onto the pavement, followed by a stunning girl with an incredible figure. She steps out gracefully, wearing a smug smile. The male students around them grit their teeth in envy, muttering to each other. He just arrived and he already bagged a top-tier beauty from the elite flight attendant program? Of course, he's rich, good-looking, and smooth. Naturally, he gets a first pick when it comes to girls. He doesn't just get first pick, he monopolized them. Half the freshman goddesses already have their eyes on him. As the couple confidently walks through campus, jealous whispers fill the air. Meanwhile, up on the upper floors of the building, a group of girls watches from a window, gossiping among themselves. One of them scoffs, she's not even that pretty. I should have made a move first, but I hesitated and now I missed my chance. So annoying." Another girl replies, "Opportunity favors the prepared. If you want to win, don't hesitate next time." Down below, Chen Yuan casually glances up at them, flashing another charming smile, one that melts hearts instantly. Then he continues strolling through the mall with his girlfriend. But that was all just a memory. Right now, Chen Yuan isn't the rich, carefree guy he used to be. As he stands in the present, he reflects, what a pity. All that luxurious spending, all those envious looks, it all disappeared in an instant. In his third year of university, disaster struck. His family's tourism business collapsed, leaving them with a massive 100 million yuan debt. Back in the real world, Chen Yuan walks into his dorm and calls out, "Hey roommates, anyone up for a late-night gaming session?" But his so-called friends react coldly. One of them, lounging on his bed, glances at him and scoffs, "Chen Yuan, I don't think we're that close anymore." Another roommate, leaning back lazily, smirks and says, "You still think you're that young rich guy from before? You thought we'd always come when you called?" Chen Yuan freezes, speechless. He swallows his pride and quietly steps out of the room, heading to the rooftop to get some fresh air. As the wind blows through his hair, he stares at the city skyline, lost in thought. All those so-called friends, the ones who used to party with me, laugh with me, drink with me, they all vanished the moment I lost my money. He sighs deeply. No choice. My parents and little sister now live in a small rented apartment. Back then, I had enough money to rent an entire floor for myself. But now I have to live in a cramped dorm. Just then, a familiar voice calls out, snapping him out of his thoughts. "Chen Yuan!" He turns around and sees Chu Wan Ding, his girlfriend. No, his ex-girlfriend. She stares at him coldly and says, "Listen, stop contacting me from now on. I hope you find a girl who understands your situation better." Chen Yuan's heart sinks. He can't believe what he's hearing. "Wan Ding, we've been together for 3 years. You're just ending it like that? Just because I'm broke now?" She sighs, flicking her hair back. "You already know the answer, don't you?" Without hesitation, she turns toward the luxury car waiting for her on the roadside. Before stepping inside, she glances back one last time and says, "Oh, and don't call me Wan Ding anymore. It sounds so cheap when you say it. If we ever meet again, actually, let's not meet again at all." She climbs into the passenger seat, slamming the door shut. Chen Yuan clenches his fists. So this is how it is. The man in the driver's seat, an older gentleman, smirks and rolls down the window. "Young man, you look troubled. Do you need a ride home?" Chen Yuan glares at him. "Oh, so when I call her Wanding, it's cheap. But when this old man calls her that, it's perfectly fine?" Ridiculous. He takes a deep breath, suppressing his emotions, and replies coldly, "No need. My home is nearby." The old man chuckles. "Oh, I just thought you might be feeling too down to think straight. Maybe I should take you home for safety reasons." Hearing this, Chen Yuan's anger flares up. If I don't fight back here, I'd be an idiot. He suddenly leans down near the car window and smirks. Big brother, you're a good man, really. But I promise, my home is just a few steps away. Then looking directly at Chu Wanding, he says, Wanding is a great girl. I hope you take good care of her from now on. She stiffens, caught off guard. The old man chuckles smugly. Don't worry. Leave Wanding to me. But then Chen Yuan's expression turns playful. He smirks and says, Oh, by the way, brother, let me give you some advice. Wanding has a few habits you should remember. First, she only uses Okamoto 001 condoms. Second, she prefers fishnet stockings, but not high-quality ones, since those aren't as convenient. And lastly, she loves dressing up as a nurse or police officer in bed. The old man's face instantly turns pale. He sputters in disbelief, gripping the steering wheel tightly. Before he can respond, Chen Yuan simply steps back and watches the car speed away, shaking his head with a sigh. Suck, I wasn't even done yet. Then looking up at the sky, he mutters, Chu Wanding, maybe you made the right choice after all. The sun glares overhead, making him squint. He shields his eyes with his hand, sighing. Forget it. This has nothing to do with me anymore. Suddenly, a robotic voice echoes in his head. Perfect life system downloading. Chen Yuan's eyes widen in shock. The bright blue sky vanishes, replaced by a glowing orange system panel. Words begin appearing in front of him. Chen Yuan stares at the glowing panel in front of him, completely stunned. Host, Chen Yuan age, 21. Height, 182 centimeters. Weight, 70 kilograms. Net worth, 87 yuan. Health value, 72 fitness value. 75 skills, none. Sweat forms on his forehead. What the hell is this? He points at himself in disbelief. Wait, am I the host? I wasn't even thinking about life or death. Why am I hallucinating? But before he can react further, the system panel flickers again, displaying a new message. Perfect life system download complete. A perfect life isn't just about money. It's also about valuing the opposite sex. Mission initiated. Spend money on a woman of the opposite sex. Age must be close to the host, who has a favorability rating above 60. Mission reward. Any money spent on the opposite sex will be tripled in return. Bonus. If her favorability increases by 3 points during the spending process, the refund will be doubled. Note, spending must be done through cash or personal accounts. Chen Yuan blinks in shock, rereading the information in front of him. Wait, what? If I spend money on a girl, I get 3 times the amount back? And if she likes me more, I get even more money? He scratches his head furiously. Did I just unlock some kind of gold digger cheat code? Before he can process it further, a soft voice calls out from behind him. Chen Yuan? He turns around to see a young woman standing there, her eyes full of concern. It's Li Xia, the academic advisor at his university. She walks up to him and gently says, A boy should act like a boy. It's just a breakup, is it really that bad? The system panel flickers again, displaying a new piece of information. Li Xia, favorability 65. Chen Yuan's heart skips a beat. Wait, I can see her favorability score too? He looks back at her, trying to process what's happening. Li Xia gives him a warm smile. I saw everything just now. To put it in your generation's words, bye-bye means bye-bye. The next one will be better, right? Chen Yuan stares at her, still in disbelief. But then, his eyes flick up to the floating pink number 65 above her head. The system chimes in again. Li Xia's favorability toward the host is 65. Chen Yuan is stunned. So this system really is real? This isn't some hallucination? Meanwhile, Li Xia, unaware of his internal shock, continues talking. Come on, Chen Yuan, cheer up. He scratches his head, awkwardly replying, Thanks, Teacher Li. Li Xia nods kindly, then suddenly remembers something. By the way, about the tuition assistance I mentioned last time, have you thought about it? The application deadline is coming up, and I've already submitted it on your behalf. Chen Yuan sighs. I appreciate it, Teacher Li, but a few thousand yuan isn't going to make a difference in my family's situation. Maybe that money should go to students who need it more. Lisha pauses for a moment, then gives a small smile. All right, if that's how you feel, I won't push you. But if you ever need help in the future, whether it's about studies or personal matters, you can always come to me. She waves goodbye and turns to leave. Chen Yuan watches her go, his mind racing. The system's mission. If I spend money on a woman with a favorability above 60, I get 3 times the amount back. He glances at Li Xia's retreating figure. Her favorability is already 65. If I spend money on her, will it really work? Without wasting another second, he makes up his mind. Teacher Li, he suddenly calls out. Lisha stops and turns around, surprised. Yes! He runs up to her and grabs her hand. Thank you for always looking out for me. Please let me buy you a cup of milk tea. She blinks in surprise. Huh? Oh, no need to be so polite, Chen Yuan. But before she can finish, he dashes off toward the milk tea shop. A moment later, he returns with a cup in hand, smiling as he hands it to her. Here, Teacher Li, this one's on me. Lisha hesitates for a moment, then blushes slightly as she takes the cup. Thank you, Chen Yuan. As she takes a sip, Chen Yuan quickly pulls out his phone to check his bank notifications. A message pops up. Construction Bank, your account ending in 0098 has received 18 yuan. New balance 99 yuan. He calculates in his head. Wait, before this, my balance was 87 yuan. I spent 6 yuan on the milk tea, which left me with 81 yuan. But now I suddenly have 99 yuan? His eyes widen in shock. The system actually refunded me 3 times the amount I spent. Chen Yuan's heart starts pounding. This is real. I can actually make money just by spending it on girls with a high favorability rating. His gaze slowly shifts back to Li Xia, who is happily sipping her milk tea, completely unaware of what just happened. If her favorability stays above 60, does that mean I can keep spending money on her and continuously get refunds? He watches as she walks away, a mix of excitement and disbelief running through him. If I play my cards right, I might actually be able to pay off my family's debt, and maybe even become richer than before. His eyes gleam with determination. Leaning against a nearby wall, Chen Yuan pulls out his phone and starts doing calculations. All right, the credit limit I can get is 8,000 from JB Bank, 20,000 from another loan, plus a business loan of 2,158 and the 99 yuan I already have. That means my total available balance is 49,684 yuan. A slow smirk spreads across his face. That's enough to test this system properly. He glances back toward the direction Li Xiao went. Sorry, Teacher Li, but I'm about to use you as my first experiment. Chen Yuan stood in front of a trash can, holding a high-end-looking bag in his hand. His eyes flickered with calculations. This bag cost 800 yen. It's a spring collection model. The quality is definitely high-end, but it's actually a replica. If I gift this to Teacher Li, she'll accept it without feeling burdened. With that thought, he turned and walked toward Li Xia's room. As he knocked on the door, he wondered, does Teacher Li have a boyfriend? A moment later, Li Xia answered the door, still wearing an apron from cooking. Seeing Chen Yuan, she blinked in surprise. Chen Yuan, what brings you here? Chen Yuan smiled politely. Teacher Li, sorry to bother you. Are you cooking? She glanced at the bag in his hand, curiosity flashing in her eyes. Do you need something? Without wasting words, Chen Yuan held out the bag and said sincerely, Teacher Li, you've always taken care of me during these 3 years of college. I never really understood how much that meant until now. I just wanted to give you this as a token of my appreciation. Lisha hesitated, her gaze shifting between him and the bag. This looks expensive. Chen Yuan expected this reaction and quickly added, Oh, it's just a high-quality knockoff. It only costs 2 yuan. Teacher Li, you know my situation. I don't have money to throw around. You've done so much for me, and if I don't show my gratitude, I wouldn't feel right. It's just a small gift, so please accept it. Lisha hesitated, considering his words. She didn't want to appear ungrateful, so eventually she nodded and took the bag. All right, I'll keep it for now. Maybe I'll get you a gift in return for your birthday or a holiday. Just as they were speaking, a burnt smell wafted from the kitchen. Li Xia's eyes widened in panic. Oh no, my fried meat is burning. She hurried inside, leaving the door open in her rush. Seeing the opportunity, Chen Yuan casually slipped off his shoes and stepped inside. Li Xia poked her head out from the kitchen, calling out, Chen Yuan, you haven't eaten yet, right? Stay for dinner, Chen Yuan smiled to himself. Her boyfriend isn't here. That's good. Spending more time together could increase her favorability. But just as he was getting comfortable, the system chimed in. Construction Bank. Your card ending in 0098 has received 119 yuan. Current balance, 12,200 yuan. Chen Yuan grinned. That bag cost me 39,800 yen, and with the triple refund, I earned 11,400 yen back. That means I made nearly 80,000 yen in total profit. He was lost in thought, but Li Xiao's voice snapped him back. Chen Yuan, why are you just standing there? Sit down and eat. He smiled and took his seat. As they started eating, he casually asked, By the way, Teacher Li, where's your boyfriend? Li Xia paused, raising an eyebrow. Boyfriend? What are you talking about? I don't have one. She struggled with her apron, muttering, Ugh, why won't this come off? Chen Yuan stood up and walked over, offering, Let me help you. She instinctively refused. No, no need. But he was already behind her, skillfully untying the apron. His eyes lingered on her figure for a moment, but he quickly refocused. Almost done. Suddenly, a loud voice interrupted them. What are you two doing? The figure at the doorway was none other than Liang, Li Xia's younger sister. Chen Yuan froze. Nothing. Li Xia, however, smiled and welcomed her. Liang, why are you home so late? Come eat. She ran over and hugged her younger sister's arm. This is my student, Chen Yuan. Chen Yuan awkwardly raised his hand. Huh, hello. Liang glared at him coldly. I'm not in a good mood. Sensing the tension, Chen Yuan quickly made an excuse. I actually ate before I came. I should head back to school now. As he left, Li Xia watched him go with a hint of surprise. Liang crossed her arms and said firmly, I think he has bad intentions. Li Xia immediately retorted, He's just my student. Liang scoffed. A student who wants to hug his teacher? Blushing, Li Xia pushed her sister toward the dining table. What nonsense are you talking about? Just eat. Meanwhile, outside, Chen Yuan walked back toward campus, deep in thought. Who should I spend money on next? Suddenly, someone crashed into him. Chen Yuan quickly recognized the person in front of him. It was Lang, one of his roommates. The guy looked like a lifeless corpse, his hand trembling as he reached out. Yuan-ji, my goddess, Fang Min. She went to the movies with that damn Li Jianping. Chen Yuan frowned. Fang Min, the class beauty from the international business program? Lang had been obsessed with her for ages, even though she had never spoken a word to him. Chen Yuan sighed. That's it? Lang saw Chen Yuan's indifferent expression and became defensive. Wait, you're not laughing at me, are you? Chen Yuan looked away, as if something had caught his attention. Forget that for now. Look over there. Lang followed his gaze and immediately straightened up. Two stunning girls were walking nearby. Lang's face turned red, and he started breathing heavily. Yuan-ji, she just went to the movies with him. They didn't rent a hotel room or anything, right? That means I still have a chance, right? Chen Yuan sighed. This guy is down bad. But then, his eyes flickered to something above Fang Min's head. A glowing number, 72. His heart skipped a beat. She has a number too? More importantly, it was even higher than Li Xia's.